it's very similar to Utpala's book in so many ways, and it's even the same author. Bless you. And I was thinking about what the difference is, but on one level, again, it's a roadmap. It always struck me something you said about understanding your how is your view of emptiness, and that you whatever, I can explain Nagarjuna to you all day long, but if you saw me yell at the waiter, then you already know how my view of emptiness is. And you don't need me to explain Nagarjuna to you. Everyone can see how your view of emptiness is coming along by your behavior with other people. So we don't need to hear your fancy philosophy. But when you're yelling at the waiter and you go home at night and you think, well, that's weird. Maybe I shouldn't have been yelling at the waiter. You can bring a text like this, and you can look and see, where do I agree with this text and where do I disagree with this text? And this text is an overview of philosophical ideas, of philosophical schools that have happened across history, and especially that were popular in ancient India. But these are ideas that come up in any person's heart. Okay, very much like Utpala's text, a natural progression that we go through. I was also thinking there's something famous about Dharmakirti, that he talks about two types of reasoning for ourselves and reasoning for other people. And I was wondering if her text is a little bit more geared towards reasoning for ourselves in meditation, convincing ourselves of emptiness in meditation, and that my text is a little bit, and you could use both for both, but maybe my text is a little more geared towards how we debate with other people and help other people also to come up through progressive levels of philosophical understanding, to come to deeper and deeper understandings until we arrive where we are now in the text after years of hard work at the highest view of emptiness, the highest branch, the upper branch of the middle way school of Buddhism. So yeah, something like that.
Cool. All right, then. I was thinking one thing this morning during my meditation in the bathroom, that one thing I would say about Ben's text is that kind of the goal of this genre of literature, this type of literature in the ancient times, the goal of it was to present every single major religious idea, every major religion that they knew about. So later, in the later ones, like the ones that were written 100 years ago, they start talking about Christianity, for example. So kind of they wanted to present all the different religions that they knew about, and they wanted to present the ideas, the main ideas of each religion. And I think what's important to remember is that if you are seeing a religion in the world, it's coming from you. Okay, all the religions you see in the world, even if you don't belong to that religion, they come from you. So a little bit, you have their idea in your heart somewhere. Okay, like if some religion believes it's good to kill cows and offer them to God, then you have a little bit of that in your heart. Somewhere you have a little bit of that in your heart. So it's important to look at all those ideas more consciously and ask yourself, why? Why do I see a religion where they think it's good to kill a cow and offer it to God? You see? And then we have to kind of try to improve our viewpoint, upgrade to business class. And then what's the other one? First class. Okay. So anyway, what I'm saying is Ben's book at the time that it was written was mainly a discussion about all the religions they knew about. And it's not for historical reasons. It's to see if you have that in your heart. And then is it possible to go higher? Okay. All right. And we're already to the higher part. You guys are, if you're just listening to this for the first time, you are so lucky that you didn't get these 32 obscure, difficult religions from ancient India. So progress, we have done 50 pages really. and we only have to do 61 pages. And we can finish by this September, and we can finish the classes. Now, as I mentioned before, there are 23 different steps after the last class is finished. And sometimes that can take a year or 2 years. Okay, so it's not easy. Making a book after the last class is still a huge amount of work, mostly done by Beth. We added 63 pages, blah, blah, blah. Your book should have been 243 pages, but it's going to be about 300. It's going to be a substantial book. Not quite good enough for putting your computer up for Zoom calls, but definitely big enough to hit people with. Okay, so I'd say it's a good sized book. All right, here we go. Please read.
Ngopo she kyang rang tsen min de de rangi tseni ki drupa mi shepe chiro.
Yeah, which school are we in? Do you remember? I don't remember exactly.
Higher middle way.
Yeah, I think we're in the higher middle way, just guessing. And we are describing their beliefs. Okay. And here we go. Ngopo she. Ngopo she.
Their presentation of working things.
They say they agree. Okay, ZHED, they agree that there is such a thing as a thing which does something. Okay, like, I don't know, coffee makes you nervous. Okay, they agree that there is such a thing. Okay, yeah, stuff works, certain things work, but we don't agree that there is rangten. We don't agree to the idea of rangten. Okay?
Yeah, like actual things out there.
Well, see, in the second school, in Adam's school, rangsen is gonna mean the actual cup rather than the archetype or the mental image of the cup. Okay, but I think here he's gonna play with us. This is not exactly rangsen in the thinking of the second school. Okay, now he's gonna explain it. I agree that a cup can work, but I don't agree that it has some kind of autonomous existence or something. Why? Because rangitsene ki dupar mishe.
Yeah, right. Because we don't accept that things have a definitive nature of their own.
Yeah, that things can exist by nature. Yeah. Listen, does fire work?
It does.
Can you cook with a fire? Can you burn down a cafe with a fire?
You can.
Yeah, no poche. We agree it works. Yeah, but rangiteniki maduk, but it doesn't do what it does because of something which is in it by definition. Okay, it doesn't have a quality. Fire is not hot in it. The hotness of fire is coming from us. Okay, fire works. You can cook your coffee, you can burn down something, but the heat in fire is not a characteristic of the fire. Okay, it doesn't belong in the fire. Okay, and that's a very, very radical idea.
Yeah.
And until the world accepts that idea, the world will suffer. Yeah. Okay, and the world will not get what it wants. Okay, okay, keep going.
Te mi she kyang ming kyang tak ye tsamla che cha che ki nam shak ten den du jok shepe pongpo la tene tak pe ngatsam shikni kansaki tsen shir sheto.
This is just one sentence, but it's pretty much the whole middle way in one sentence. And it's going to be very hard to translate it, in a way that is really expresses middle way philosophy. So demiche means they don't accept that this cup, what?
is
Uh,
established or
whole,
exists
whole
through.
coffee.
Yeah.
They don't agree this cup holds coffee because it's a cup. Okay. They say, look, does the coffee cup hold coffee? Yes. Is it because it's a cup? No. Okay. Is holding coffee a defining characteristic of a cup? They say no, not it doesn't have that quality. If it holds coffee, that's coming from me. And if I didn't have that karma, it would break in this moment in my hand. Okay, got it? Okay, de mi kyang. Okay. Min kyang tak yet sam. Things do exist. Min kyang. Min kyang.
In name,
What does it mean?
nominally
Kyang.
through name Kyang,
Uh,
by
this is the
extension.
kyang in Kyangma. This is the kyang in the inner channel called Kyangma.
Solitary.
The two side channels.
Only.
Yeah,
Solely.
solitary. Solely. Yeah, only in name. Min kyang. Okay. Now, I don't know. I studied for many, many years, and I'm like, what do you mean only in name? You know, I'm drinking out of a cup. This is not just a word. You know, this is not just a word. I'm drinking out of it right now. I'm having. Did you ever try MJB coffee, Kramer?
No.
It was very popular in my parents' time, and somebody found some in Japan and sent it to me. It's interesting. Anyway, I'm just so if someone says, "Look, the cup is only a name," I think, "What are you talking about? It's not only a name. I'm drinking out of it." So what does Ming Kyang really mean, you guys? Let's say for $100. I want to know what this Ming is.
Through
$100.
name.
It's by the way, it's Ming Day Daksam. Of course, it's name, but what does it really mean?
Means a
What's
seed
name mean in this? Wait,
a
what'd you
image
say?
coming out of a karmic seed in your mind.
Perfect. How much is that? $100? Shopping for
Shopping got it.
Amelie. Don't give it to Nick. Don't give it to Nick. Give it to Amelie. Okay.
Shopping
That's
got
why
it.
she has this big smile, because her dad makes so much money for her. Okay, so it just means the luminous image coming out of a mental seed. That's all. That's name. That's quote name. Okay, so if you don't understand that, you're going to be frustrated for the rest of your life. Oh, it's cup. So what? I'm still drinking out of cup. Okay, Ming Kyang. And when you apply that image to the part, that's Tagya. Okay, that's just a projection, meaning the image has been glued to the part, okay, by your mind, okay? And this is the sum of its part plus the image, okay? Which is always the last part, okay? That's all. Now, if you restrict yourself to a reality, which is coming about through images applied to parts, then Chacheki Namjak Tepa. Then the way stuff works is all totally 100% fine. Okay, Namshak means the way, Chache means the way things do things. It's fine. Okay, if you understand that this object is only holding coffee right now because I gave coffee to people in the past, then you can explain how stuff works. Okay, then it can do something, but otherwise no. Okay, otherwise no. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Otherwise it will break. Namshak te den to joke shepa. Joke shepa means what?
You should engage in
They
that with.
understand.
Uh,
They understand how to say things are empty, but they still work. Okay, joke shepa. They know how to describe that. They got it. This sentence, you could like carve it on a stone and hang it at the college or something, because this is the middle way right here. Okay, they know how to say this is coming from me, but I can still drink out of it. Okay, got it? Then they take the parts of a person, body and mind. You know, Pumpo means the 5 skandhas, but let's just call it body and mind right now. And you can put Mike, or you can put Ben, or you can put Ezra on those parts, Kendra. You can put it on those parts, okay? That's okay. Sheik, by the way, she was a very nasty mistake here. Okay, not some Sheik, you can come up with me, you know, Mike, Ben, Ezra, Kendra. What? Take their parts, just like the cup, take the 5 parts and give them an image, glue them together with an image, which comes from how you treated people in the past. And then you can say, that's a true example of a person. That's a real person. Mensch, that's a mensch. Okay. Shay, they said, if you want to know what a person is, it's just a pile of stuff glued together by a mental image, which came out of a seed put in my mind when I was nice to people in the past, or something like that. Okay. I don't know. You have a question?
Yeah, is he almost like suggesting Tsen Shi as like a middle way equivalent to Rang Tsen?
Yeah, you could maybe say that. You could maybe say that. But I think what he's saying is that's a real person. Okay. Maybe he's going to go on to things. Okay. Maybe he's going to go on to things after that. But he says, you want to know what a person is? It's just a bunch of car parts. And then because you gave rides in your car to people in the past, a seed comes out of your mind and glues them together into a car. And that's such a good process that you can drive it. Okay. It's a beautiful sentence. This extremely deep sentence. Perfect Chonin Lama. I wonder how old he was when he wrote this. Anyway, I think 67 is the peak, by the way. Utpala or Bats, 50 is still, until you hit 60, you don't understand anything. Okay,
That's
go ahead, Ben.
Kansak Rangshim Mepa, Kansak Idak Me, Chamo, Tang, Pompo Rangshim Mepa, Chigi Dak Me, Chamor Döki, Kansak, Rangya Tupe Ze Yuki Tong Pe, Tong Yi Pe, Kansaki Dak Me, Chamor Min De, Kansak, Min De, Te, Kansaki Dak Me, Rakpa Yimbe Chir.
Okay. Yeah, the fact, Kansai Rangshi Mepa.
The lack of a true nature to people.
Yeah, the fact that the person's basically not coming from their own side. Okay. That's Ganzaki Dame.
The subtle lack of a self to people.
Yeah, that's now, this trauma is going to cause us trouble. Okay. This trauma is going to give us trouble. I'm just telling you, I'm predicting. Okay. Yeah, and subtle lack of a self to people. Okay. The Mike's not coming from his own side. If you didn't have mental seed, you couldn't see Mike. You could see his mind, you could see his body, but you couldn't see Mike. Okay. But Pumbo Rangshin Mepa.
The fact that the parts of a person don't have a true nature
is Chugidame.
The subtle lack, we're going to have trouble with trauma, but the subtle lack of self to things.
So listen, it's very common knowledge in middle way philosophy that we study 2 kinds of emptiness. What are they?
The emptiness of persons and the emptiness of things, meaning the part.
Yeah, exactly. But if you're teaching Lam Riem, right, online, and you say, look, there's 2 kinds of emptiness. There's emptiness of people, and there's the emptiness of things. Then automatically, your audience is going to think, oh, I'm in the kitchen. So the refrigerator, the sink, the cabinets, those are things. And then I'm a person. So my emptiness is the emptiness of person. And the emptiness of the refrigerator and the cabinets and the sink, that's the emptiness of things. But that's not true, right? Ben, what's true?
Well, those things that we're calling things actually all belong in the first of the 5 heaps. So those are included, but the emptiness of things refers to the parts of a person. Some of those parts might include the things in your kitchen, but they also include your feelings, your ability to tell the difference between things, your right, your senses,
Your nose, your okay.
your
Yeah,
anger.
so it's interesting that when we divide emptiness into the emptiness of people and the emptiness of things, when we say things, we're really talking about the parts of a person. So it's all about people anyway. Okay, got it? Okay, so Chukidame Tamer. Good. Key. But what about the fact that the person is not Rangyatupa? And what about the fact that the person is not Zeya? What about those two? Okay.
So-
What's Rangyatupa mean?
Well,
Self-standing. Yeah. By the way, gab means I think an oar in a boat, and I don't know what. Maybe it's you could hold up an oar or something. I don't know, but maybe that's not the right spelling. But I think it is.
but we're saying
SKYA means
sorry.
yeah, self-standing. Like maybe it means like that. Can stand on its own, right? But what's a real example? That we used in the 6 flavors of emptiness.
Crane operator.
Yeah, kind of implies you have control over things. Okay. And that's Zeya, that's substantial. Now, the word substantial has like 20 different meanings, and depends on what school you're in. Chankya Drupta, Chankya's 4-volume, what do you call it? Essence of the Schools. It has a great discussion of it. But here it just means if a thing doesn't have to depend on other things, if it can stand on its own, then that's called substantial by some schools. But in the highest middle way school, they say that's what things are empty of. They don't stand on their own, okay? That kind of substantial existence without depending on other things, that's exactly what we mean when we say it doesn't exist. There's no such thing, okay? Zeyuki Tonwa. And here, as in Betts' text, we have the instrumental used with emptiness, okay, here. Empty of. What was the emptiness in Betts' text? I should offer $100, but I'm running out of money. I don't know what was it? What was the weird, it was reg jeton. Okay, it was reg jeton, empty of being touchable. Empty of being touchable, okay? Which is the definition of mind almost, you see? And then the guy thought that was emptiness, the emptiness of being touchable. But that's not so here, the emptiness of being independent, standing independently, Tongni, they say, Chamor Mindu.
That's not the subtle lack of self to people.
Good. That's not the emptiness of Ben. Okay. The fact that Ben is not self-standing.
And that's
it's not the same as Ben doesn't come from his own side.
And that's
not
true
the
because
same.
that
Doesn't
would
have
be
power.
gross lack of self to people
What's that?
instead. And that's true because that would be the gross lack of self to people instead.
Yeah, but I don't think they make the distinction. That's a game that's played in the lower middle way. Okay.
They're saying that here.
The higher middle way, I know, but the higher middle way wouldn't say Kansan Ranka Tupizeyuki Tonwa is emptiness. They would say that's lower school. Maybe he means lower school idea. but in my opinion, the higher school has one emptiness. It's tramo, and that's the only one they got. And these lower emphases don't count as emptiness. Okay, all right. Now, why he said that? Let's see. Okay, let's see later. Let's see if he clarifies. Okay, min de kansaki dagme rakpa. That's just the rough lack of self nature to the person. So rakpa is as opposed to tamo,
Tamo.
right? Yeah, and this spelling, okay. So gang is going to have a lot of rakpa, meaning to depend on something, and that's spelled differently. Okay, so this rakpa means rough, but I don't think they make the distinction. Let's see if he talks about it more. Here we go. Go.
Come dear di daki kepar chungse sam shik jupar chate di la ni rang me pe dun tang rang ya tu pe ze ki tong pe dun no.
Yeah, now he agrees with me, which of course, and he says, you know what? We better talk a little bit more about this too, because this is a little weird. Okay, come dear, by the way, heavy prenasal traditionally. And it's if you want to know, it's an M prenasal. It's a, what do you call it? It's an exception. Okay, come dear. In this particular moment, in this discussion, okay, we better talk a little bit, about what's the difference between these two. What's the difference between subtle emptiness and obvious emptiness? Okay, we better talk about it. Okay, let's talk about it. These authors keep apologizing for going on. They say, look, I'm not gonna give you the details because my book, Mang Tu Toko, because I would be concerned that my book would go on too long. And then they proceed to do it. Then they go ahead and give you the whole discussion. First they say, I'm not going to do it, and then they do it. Okay, which is, I'm happy that they do. So this kepar means, what's the difference between these two? If we're calling, one is the emptiness of being self-standing, and one is the emptiness of having its own nature. Well, what's the difference? Okay, what's the difference? Let's talk about it a bit. Okay, and this discussion, dilani, means what?
It's gonna have two parts.
Yeah, this discussion is going to have two parts. The first part is what?
The meaning of lack of true nature.
Yeah, what does it mean that a cup is not itself? Okay, basically, what's it mean that the cup is not holding coffee on its own? Okay, and then what's the meaning when we say Zeyuki Toa?
That a thing is empty of being substantial in the sense of being self-standing.
Perfect. Okay, perfect. Yeah. Look, what's the difference? Okay, let's talk about it. Go ahead.
Tamboni rang yube kan sak sok chuna mingta am dokpe wang samgi jok minupe lo nume la nangwe wangi chok la huh?
Yeah, cool. Now, who's Rangipa?
The lower middle way.
Yeah, and they minu.
They can't do this.
Yeah, they cannot establish something. They have trouble with a certain idea. Okay, the lower middle way has problems with the idea that people and other things, okay, things such as people, etc., okay, they have trouble with the idea that they are just a creation of Ming and Da.
Name and thought.
Yeah, name and images, you can say.
Words and ideas.
Yeah, words and ideas, good. or you can say just the creation of the mind. Okay,
Mhm.
just the creation of the thought. They have trouble with that idea. Why? It doesn't seem substantial enough, you know? Like if I could just imagine a pizza, then can I eat it? You know, if pizza is just all in my mind, then could I eat it? It's not enough, they say. The pizza must have some existence from
Uh,
50%.
uh, oh, look, from the mind, from a correct state of mind.
Yeah, but the nung is the important thing here, okay?
Must
There's
appear
gotta be
to a
some,
correct mind.
yeah, there's something out there
Mhm.
that I am using to create my reality. There is stuff out there. There's got to be stuff out there. It's got to be a 50-50 process. If a pizza was 100% creation of my mind, how could I eat the pizza? How could I enjoy the pizza? Not possible. Okay. So they don't accept higher middle way. They say, look, there's got to be flour, there's got to be tomatoes, there's got to be pineapple in China. And there's those pieces out there. And then I can think of it as a pizza, and then you get a pizza. So they're called the 50-50 school, right? Lower, middle way. Okay. Lo nu mela nawe wangi shaksa mayimba. Yo rangi tomo mayimbe duliki ngune dupe toa. Okay. We disagree with the lower schools who say everything's coming this way. We have a higher idea. 50% is coming this way and 50% is coming from me. That's lower middle way. Okay, got it?
Mhm.
So the important here is not the lo nume. The
Mhm.
important point here is not the lo nume.
Mhm.
It's that something out there is Noah, okay,
Mhm.
to the mind.
Mhm.
Something is out there appearing to the mind, okay? And then you can say there's a thing there, okay? Then that's enough, that's power to joke Michael or Ben, okay? If something, if the skandhas are appearing and I'm calling it Ben, okay, that's dependent origination. Got it? Oh, and by the way, higher middle way would say the same, but they would say the parts of Ben also come from me. Okay, got it? Okay, here we go. Dayan,
Dayan
please
kansak,
read.
dayan kansak jok che yi lo nu me de jok yui
Okay,
de jok yui kansak ni lo de la te me ki tsu gi tang ho ni ne kyang rangi ngune tup tup pa shiklan de ching.
let's stop there. Let's stop there. Maybe I should have cut it. I don't know. Okay, let's talk about the lo,
Mhm. The mind
which is what? Neme.
that is unharmed, that is unerring.
I was gonna offer $50, so let's go. $50. What's it mean, Neme?
Unharmed, unmistaken state of mind that's not under the influence of drugs or illness or
Yeah, good. Okay. Xiaoping, $50 to Kramer. Okay. Yeah, not damaged here means you're not drunk, you're not overwhelmed with jealousy about your wife. You're not in a car and the other cars are moving, but your car's not moving and you think your car's moving. And you're not sick. You don't have jaundice and you see the Himalayan mountains as yellow. Okay. So Nume means normal, unaffected state of mind. You can almost say unaffected. Okay. The unaffected state of mind, which establishes that there's a person out there. Okay. Okay. Uh, the person that is to be established by it. Okay, so gyu here means cha, B-Y-A, okay, object of an action. Okay, this doesn't mean cause. Okay, this is gyu used after a verb, means which is to be blank. Okay, verb followed by gyu means that thing which is to be blank, which is to be joked. Okay, what's a sagyu? What's sagyu? Something which is to be
Eaten.
sa. Yeah, pizza. Okay. I don't know why I'm on pizza. I guess I have to order one tonight. Yeah. So any verb followed by gyu, it does not mean cause. It means which is to be joke here, which is to be established. Okay. How do you know a person is out there? Joke you. Okay. Well, that person, it's lo de la teme. Tenme.
Uh,
Verb here.
yeah.
Wait, so gang, tell me what te means. And if you get it wrong, you owe me $100.
The dependent.
Nice. Okay, you just saved some money. Okay, Shin should be happy. You didn't make money, but you didn't lose money, so you made progress. Okay. Yeah, to me means without relying on the mind. Okay. The parts of the pizza are out there. Okay, sulki, in a way in which they don't depend on my mind. Tambonine. By the way, it's always accented like that. Tambonine.
First of all,
We
like
have it in English.
at the very beginning.
Yeah,
Oh,
from the very beginning. Yeah, from the very beginning. It's been out there. Okay. The pieces of the pan were there before you walked in the room. Okay, this is lower middle way.
uh-huh.
Okay. They were sitting there on the table before you opened the door. Okay. Don't tell me that there was nothing on the table till you came in the door. There was pieces on the table. Dambonine. This is a very, very powerful. This is very sexy for your book. You know, this is the essence of their wrong idea.
Mhm.
Oh, the parts of the pen were on the table before I walked in the room. Okay. That's what they say. Okay. Dambonine. Kyang.
But
And they were coming rangune.
from their own side.
Good. And listen, when you repeat a verb in Tibetan, it means donkey-like persistence about an idea.
Mhm.
Okay. It means it was there. It was there. Okay. Doop, doop. Okay. Okay. It's like the voice goes up. Okay. Doop, doop. It was there. Okay. Doop, doop. Okay. It was there. Okay. You got, how you going to translate that? I don't know. But when you repeat a verb like that, it means they're being indignant. They're saying, it was there before I walked in the room. The pieces of the pen were on the table. Then the dog saw the pieces as a chew toy, and the human saw the pieces as a pen. But don't tell me the pieces weren't there when we both walked in the room. Doop, doop. They were really there. Okay, got it?
Yeah.
Shikla. They believe, that the parts are a thing like that. Shik means a thing like that was always there from the very beginning, from its own side. Okay, nobody was standing outside the room and somehow ESP'd the parts of pens into the room. Okay,
Mhm.
they were sitting there on their own side. Okay, please continue now. Detar dupa.
Data drupa de kansak rang ngene sam rang shingi drupe dun yin kyang dempar drupe dun yim par min de.
Yeah, now somebody's drawing a distinction between three different things. Someone is drawing a distinction between three different ideas. Number one, does it exist from its own side?
Mhm.
Number two, does it exist through some nature of its own inside it? Okay, own side, inside.
Mhm.
Number three, is it real? Okay, is it real? Okay, is it what you thought it was? Okay. So pretend you're lower middle way. Put on the hat of the lower middle way and tell me, okay, Mr. Lower Middle Way Kramer,
Yeah.
do you believe the parts of the pan come from their own side?
No.
Good. No, you do. You
Minde.
do.
Minde.
50%. No, you're the 50% school. You're the 50% school. You do. You say do. Before I walked in the room, the parts of the pen were sitting there.
But isn't
Okay,
this
from
saying
their own side? They
wrong-
believe it.
wrong? Isn't it saying
Wait,
about?
wait.
Sorry. Okay.
We're getting there. Three ideas here. Okay, now put your hat on. Forget higher middle way. Don't be higher middle way. Be lower middle way. I'm asking you three questions. Number one, did the parts of this pen come from their own side? Yeah, they do. Otherwise, you couldn't have the 50-50 school. You see, they are a 50-50 school, right? Things have to come, nangwa, they have to appear from their own side. And then from my side, I have to think of them that way. And that's how things happen, okay? That's lower middle way, okay?
Okay.
Cool?
Well,
Okay. They
okay.
do believe that. That's what
Okay.
we've been saying all the time. And then now I got another question for you. Does this exist through some nature of its own? Is there anything about this which is coming from its own time?
I guess
Lower middle way. Yeah, you'd say, yeah, of course, I agree. Okay, so two agree so far. Got it? You're
Yeah.
lower middle way. Now I ask a third question. Is this what you thought it was?
No.
Good. Okay. So now change hats, okay, Mr. Kramer? Now you are Mr. Prasangika Kramer, okay? And I'm not gonna ask you the same three questions. You ready? Do any parts of this pen come from their own side?
No.
No. But wasn't there parts on the table before you walked in
No.
that were there on their own?
No.
No. You created them from the other side of the door before you walked in the room? Is that what you're telling me?
Yes.
Yeah, good. Perfect. You see, the lower middle way can't handle it. The higher middle way is, yeah, that's true. I created them from the other side of the door before I walked in the door. I created the parts, which I saw as a pen after I walked to the door. Okay, they're fine with that. They don't have a problem with that. The raw data is also coming from me. Okay. Now, I'll ask you a second question. Is there anything pen about this black stick?
No.
Yeah, good. Those two no's would be yes if you were lower middle way.
Okay. I see.
Okay, got it?
Right.
Now I ask you, is this pen Demba? Is it real? Is it what we always thought it was?
No.
Good. And that answer is the same in both middle way schools. Okay, it's three questions. Two answers are different. One answer is the same. Okay, let's go back to the text. They kansak rangune drup kansak rangshingi drup. We don't have a problem with it. But kyang,
Okay.
that's not Denver drup.
Okay.
That doesn't mean they're Denver drup. We don't agree to that. Okay, who's us?
That's still lower middle way.
Yeah, he's describing lower middle way. Good, we got it. We got the paragraph. Yay! Because the paragraph before started with Rangyupa. Okay, so these two paragraphs are all mixed up with Rangyupa, lower middle way. Okay, now we get to, please read.
Teongyorwani kansak.
Good, Teongyorwani. You gotta say it like that. Teongyorwani.
Teongyorwani kansak de korang jelchegi tsemala temegi tangpone madrupar kansak dang kansak jelchegi tsema ni pensen tene drupe.
Let's stop there. Let's stop there. Teongyorwani.
In the higher middle way.
Yeah, now what they say, let's take that sema, okay, which gel concept, okay. Gel means to weigh, right?
Mhm.
Or consider. Okay, we're translating it as consider. It can also mean with the M prefix, it means to meet somebody. And you can see they might be connected, okay? So let's consider a state of mind, correct state of mind, accurate state of mind, where you are considering the person, okay? To make key,
I'm sorry,
Tambone
concentrate. Codon.
say again?
Considering
Oh,
the cell. Yeah.
The person which doesn't depend on the accurate perception, which is considering it. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
The person which does not depend on the accurate perception, which is considering it. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Tumeki, Tambone, and by the way, the name was missing, and I found it in the carving because I was going crazy. And you owe me like $1,000 for that ne. Okay, it's $300 a letter. Dambone Maduk. Kansa de Korang Jejiki Semela to Meki. Does the person depend on a process of parts being perceived by a perception?
Sure.
Does the person depend on the process of, I'm sorry, does the person depend on being there from its side and a tema from its side?
No.
Yeah, so this first part of the sentence is very difficult, but it has to be the Rangyupa system, okay? That the concept de Koran Joke Kisamala, okay? There's a person and there's a perception of the person, and the person is there, but they don't exist till someone comes in the room and sees them. It's a 50-50 thing. We've been emphasizing the first half of the 50. There has to be parts on the table when you walk in. But don't forget, in the lower middle way, they also say there has to be a correct perception. Is the second half of the 50. Okay, got it?
Yeah.
So we've been discussing how the parts of the pen have to be there on the table when you open the door. But in the lower middle way, there's an equal emphasis that there has to be an unaffected state of mind which precedes it. Otherwise, there's no thing. If you ask a lower middle way guy, is the world a creation of your mind? They would say yes, but on parts which are not a creation of my mind. Okay, got it? Okay, it's 50-50. Okay, to some extent, the world is coming from me, but to some extent, the world is coming from the other side also, 50-50. Okay, got it? Yeah. So this is correct as a note to myself, okay? But Tangdo ne matupa kansa tang kansa jachi kitsamani pensin tene dupa. Okay, let's go here, okay?
2 minutes.
Let's go. Let's go to this piece here and it will help you, okay? And this is a nasty sentence, okay? And we'll come back to it next time. Kansa means what?
A person.
And the kansa jen jekitsema.
The state of mind which is beholding or considering the person.
Good. Are pensin tene dupa. Pensin dupa.
Are not established in dependence on each other?
No, they are. Okay. Okay. Without the parts of the pen on the table, there can be no pramana. And without a pramana, there can be no parts of a pen on the table. Okay. The parts make the pramana, and the pramana makes the parts. This is lower middle way. Okay. Okay. That's going to be
Okay.
Tricky. I'm sorry. Jason said Penson didn't do, but no, I'm sorry. This is higher middle way. Okay. They depend on each other. You can't call something a sema. Well, let me see. Damon Madupa. Kansat done Kansat. Let's do it next time. Okay. Let's do it next time.
Okay. It's
All
good to
right.
stop
The point
somewhere.
is, lower middle way would say the parts of the pen were there on the table when you walked in the room. Higher middle way would say, no, they were there before you opened the door. They were created by your mind, okay? And we don't believe this 50-50 thing. Now, somehow you have to go, somehow we have to understand this sentence that way, and it's a tough sentence. So let's do it when we're fresh and when we have time, okay?
Okay.
And it's not easy. And by the way, I'll give you some homework. Check that it's correct, that it matches the carving, okay? Because it did have a nasty part of it that didn't fit the carvings. I think you have 2 carvings, and try to check both of them, okay? See if we're missing anything. Kuma?
Cool.
Okay, all right.
Sashi Puki Jukshin Mitok Tram Rira Lingshin Yende Gyambari Sangye Shingdu Mikte Uargi Rokun Namdak Shingla Chuparsho Irang Guru Rana Mandala Kaniryadayami Gewadi Kewokon Sunam Yeshe Tsok Tsok Shin Sunam Yeshe Lechung We Ampar Kuni Topar Sho. Thank you, Bob.
You're welcome. By the way, well, anyway, we're good. We're not too far from the end. Who's up next, by the way?
Adam's up next. Thank you, Geshe-la.